All right, big news for Antonio Brown today. Not only is the wide receiver finally reporting to Oakland Raiders camp, today's his first day with the Oakland Raiders at camp.
Officially.
That's good. But also, he's got a huge legal problem that's now off his plate. Remember how he was being sued by a guy over a furniture throwing incident at his apartment in Florida?
The guy said that Antonio threw the furniture off the balcony, out of the window, and almost killed his little child.
Yeah, 22-month-old kid was walking around the pool area back in April 2018 when all of a sudden this man claims that Antonio Brown started throwing vases and pieces of furniture off of his balcony in a fit, and it smashed on the ground mere feet from his 22-month-old son.
Clearly, if something is coming from up high and it hits a little kid, that could really be damaging. It could hurt or kill a kid.
So the father of the kid says the kid was traumatized by this, completely freaked out, like was scared, crying, all this stuff. And so he filed a lawsuit against Antonio Brown seeking, a bunch of money and stuff. Well, Antonio Brown initially denied it and said it wasn't me that threw it up. It was somebody else that was in my apartment who was throwing the furniture. It was not me. What was working against Antonio Brown is the police reported to the apartment complex that day. And in the police report, it says that Antonio appeared very agitated and he was yelling when they got there. And there were two other people who were with him who were trying to calm Antonio Brown down. So that it doesn't sync up real well with Antonio's side of the story. It sounds like he was probably the one who threw the furniture and was trying to pass the blame.
The situation, the circumstances seem to match up with this guy was accusing Antonio.
Yes, but now Antonio, from what we've gathered here, we've spoken to multiple people involved in the case who tell us that a settlement was reached, that Antonio has reached a settlement with the father of the kid, and the lawsuit will no longer be going forward, which is a huge relief for Antonio Brown, since there is a lot of stuff going on in his life. So everything you can cross off the list is a big deal, but now he no longer has to worry about the lawsuit from the father of the 22-month-old kid who he allegedly almost killed in a furniture throwing
We play
raid.
that game like crisis manager and what would we do? I mean, this was the move here.
Yeah,
because,
you got to settle.
Right, like money to Antonio Brown is nothing. So cut this guy a check and have this go away. Antonio didn't need this thing constantly being reported on. Yeah. It's a bad look.
Well, there are other things. I mean, look, he's not in the clear yet. If you're the PR manager, you're happy because you've got a lot of crises.
One down, more to go.
That's right. So he's also being sued by the apartment complex who claims that he wrecked the place, so they're trying to get money out of him for that. He's also involved in a situation with a woman who claims that Antonio had roughed her up. Remember, she filed the police report, so there's that whole thing going on. And then aside from those two things, he's also dealing with the fact that his former teammate, Juju Smith, he's dealing with that crazy Twitter war where Antonio was trashing Juju Smith after he left Pittsburgh. So there are a lot of problems going on for Antonio Brown.
There are, but this is one down. Now he just needs to methodically take care of these things. Forget Juju. Stop tweeting at him, Antonio. That's when you can handle yourself. Yeah. You're in a new place, like Evan said. You reported to the Raiders today. Start fresh, brother.
He needs the season to start. And he needs to get on the field and he needs to tear it up because
which he will, because he's so great. He's a great player.
If he starts catching touchdowns again and the Raiders are winning again, everybody will forget all this other stuff. And that's honestly for him, the season can't start soon enough. If you like what you just saw, videos, great stories, and crazy photos, we've got more like it every single night on TMZ Sports on FS1.